Hello again, everyone. Today I want to talk about this product shot. Very nice. The two-player starter set. Very cool. Very fun. I think I've opened it and started reading through the little paper recyclable. Very nice. That's another thing Konami's been doing. Recyclable. Very cool. Going through the manual a little bit, or like the play-by-play tutorial comic book, whatever you want to call it. Kind of just doing that. Haven't actually opened the decks yet. We kind of know the point at this point. A lot of people probably already know that this is a tutorial two-deck system. There's a Vanadium Prime Heart, looking pretty cool with his energy blades. That's a stupid meme. It's not that funny, but whatever. The content demands it. And the much cooler, much more useful double A Zeus. We love Zeus. We're a Zeus household. But basically, just going through this and kind of thinking, like, just kind of putting some thoughts out there regarding this deck and what it's like, or what this product's supposed to do. Because there's a lot of like undue hate for this thing. Like, come on, like, it says on the box, it says starter set. Like, hello, what are you expecting? Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I'm assuming you're watching this, you know something about it. Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is extremely complicated. It's like way more than it ever was. It's probably as hard to get into as it's ever been. Probably way harder. Probably the hardest it's ever been to get into, because there's also a lot of gatekeeping within the community. There's a lot of like stuff that's just not like that Konami doesn't do properly to get people involved or like get an understanding of how the game works. Like, even Master Duel is another example where the tutorial really doesn't teach you how to play. And this, to the same extent, this product here, product shot, doesn't also kind of teach you like how to play modern Yu-Gi-Oh. It starts off with essentially like the first move is set Queen's Knight face down in defense mode, and then normal summon Sparkman on turn two. Like, that's not gonna fly in modern Yu-Gi-Oh. It's just not good enough. But I think the way the kind of the book works is that it works itself up. Like, it doesn't just say, "Oh, here you go, normal summon this, then tribute summon Skulling, go into beatdown, and if your opponent plays a card, use here you've drawn Fissure, use that." It kind of works its way up through, and then in this case, it kind of teaches you one deck is concentrated on synchro summoning, the other one's on Xyz summoning. So the product itself is actually not bad, but it like there's this weird like expectation, like when Konami released like photos, it's like Dark Magician and like Elemental Hero Sparkman were in this deck, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, vanillas!" It's like, cool, like that's fine for a starter set. It's fine. It's like the Egyptian God card decks. They're not gonna they're not gonna win you a game at locals. They're not gonna win you. God forbid you bring them to a regionals or something, or expect Obelisk and Slifer to suddenly be good. But it was good to as a starting product, like a way to introduce you back into the game, kind of like lead you along. Because the reality is, if you try to teach somebody how to play modern Yu-Gi-Oh, and you just sit them down and you're like, okay, here's a sprite deck, for example. It's like, okay, cool, you draw five. Okay, I play Ipira. Okay, cool, Ipira level 2. Special sprite blue, search, special sprite, search out, grab, jet, special jet, search out, starter, use starter, search out, red, play red. Oh, a carrot was already in hand, do that, link them off for Sprint, send Swap Frog to the grave, and then go through that whole thing. Or you could send Nimble Angler. These are just examples off the top of my head using Sprite. But basically, like, if you're showing a new person that, like, a Sprite combo line, like, that doesn't help them understand, like, the very base fundamentals of the game. Because in the end, like, synchro summoning, Xyz summoning, like, yeah, these are, like, little drops that aren't going to get you to, like, yeah, normal summon Sparkman and then get a tuner next turn and then hope for the best isn't going to get you a win. but it teaches you the fundamental of how to synchro summon, getting 2 level 4 bodies on field, and then Xyz summoning into something. That gets you the fundamental of Xyz summon. And having Zeus in there actually is kind of useful, because never mind that it's a really good reprint, it's actually nice because Zeus shows you a way that it's like, oh, the rules are normally this, but sometimes card mechanics will change those rules. And it's a good thing to have that example in the deck, because you're going to run into it pretty freaking quickly, where you're going to be looking at something and be like even something as simple as contact fusion. Like, whoa, here, we try to explain fusion summoning. You use a spell on 2 monsters. Unless you know you can contact fuse. Oh, how can I contact fuse? Well, it's in the card text. Gate Guardian Combine can do it. Chimera Text can do it. There you go. Cool. You'll figure it out. Good luck. But, I don't know. I think it's good. This is just a short little video. I just wanted to kind of talk about this thing, join the discourse, if you will. Yeah, I think the Zeus reprint is great. Let me buy it. The entire thing cost as much as a freaking copy of Zeus, for God's sakes. Like, it was well worth buying it just for that. And you know what? If it gets like a couple of people to play, I think one thing Konami should do is, because this introduced 2 of the 4 major summoning extra deck summoning, or the 4 extra deck summoning mechanics, do the next one as links and fusions. Do it. It would be so helpful to have that, because now you have 2 different sets of starter decks, which is already perfectly fine to do. Have those 2. This one teaches you how to Xyz to synchro, and the next one will teach you how to do fusions and links. And then if you were so inclined, you could do a third one, which was based on rituals and pendulums, and then you would promptly lose all those players that you may have fostered by having products like this. I think this is a good product. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's not for competitive players, but that's not the point. And I think there's this weird obsession within the Yu-Gi-Oh community where people are always like saying like, oh, like this was something that was brought up in another video, that when Rescue Ace came out, it's like, oh, well, and a lot of like the decks in, or the archetypes in Amazing Defenders particularly, were garbage when they came out, but like decent enough that you could play like a decent slow paced like multi-turn game without major board setups on turn 1 and 2. But it's like, well, they're not competitive, they're garbage. It's like, this isn't a competitive product, it's garbage. It's not. It's the steps you need to take as a card game to get other people to play your freaking card game. I came back into this game because of Master Duel, but I played it until Synchros came out, so I wasn't like, the black cards scared me. The blue ones with the hexagons, those are terrifying and still terrifying. The white ones were fine. But a lot of people quit before the white one's thing. And even if you're starting now, you don't have even a baseline that somebody who played in DM or GX era knows. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think this product deserves the hate it gets. I think it's a pretty decent little starting product. The comic's, like, not great. Like it's not particularly, like, fun to go through. It's a lot. Yeah, Manadium Prime Heart just left the field, so if he saw Starfrost is summoned back from the graveyard. But it's not going to be, like, smooth, per se. But it's going to get you through. You'll probably, like, I'm looking forward to doing a video where I kind of break this down with somebody who's never played, and kind of just being like, hey, like, do you actually understand, like, what this game is trying to do? Like, did you understand that? And kind of go from there, and that'll probably be sometime next week. But yeah, thanks for listening to this rant. If you know people who want to try, buy this. Like, buy this in Speed Duel. Like, here, we'll spend a minute talking about Speed Duel, so I get to the 10-minute mark for the algorithm's sake. Buy Speed Duel products. Like, this is like I'm not even sponsored by Konami. I think Speed Duel's awesome. I love Speed Duel product. I think it's a cool way to just, like, sit down with people and say, like, especially people my age. I'm 31. So, like, I played during DM, GX, a little bit during 5D's era of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's like a lot of people I knew grew up playing this crap. So it was like, hey, like, one time I actually did bring out, like, the GX, like, Duel Academy box and was like, hey, do you remember, like, Yu-Gi-Oh? And it's like, yeah. And we actually played a game. I used the Jaden deck, the other person used the Cyrus deck, and we actually, like, remembered enough. Like, they remembered enough that they didn't need me to, like, guide them along a ton. And it's like, it's actually just fun. Like, You have the skills. You don't even have to use them if you don't want to, if you want to play a more purist style game. But it's actually not a bad way. And in the end, you build off of that. You can't you can't fundamentally understand this game by just going like, here's everything. Here's links, synchros, exes, pendulum, fusion, problem solving, card text, the banish zone, and here's cast your deck and do your best with it. That's not how it's gonna work. You're gonna bring new people along by using products like the 2-player starter, the God card decks, Master Duel, and Speed Duel. You might be able to get some people in with structure decks that they might recognize, but in the end, what's going to teach people how to actually play, at least to a point where they're not feeling like super overwhelmed with the sheer insane volume of crap they have to deal with, is going to be stuff like this. But yeah, thanks for listening. We managed to get to the point where I wanted to get for the algorithm, so thank you. Hopefully you like and subscribe, and thanks for continuing to indulge me with this.